What is up, everybody? It's your girl Tyra, and I'm coming back at you again with another Greek inspired video. Are you ready?
That's right. Hey. Tyra, the creative. That's right. The creative.
So you guys, we're gonna jump right into this video. I don't know what made me want to post this type of video, but I was just reflecting on my life before Greek life, and I was like, dang, I wish I would have known that before I joined. So without further ado, let's just hop right into the video. Okay, so I just wrote down a bunch of stuff that I wish I knew before I joined a sorority, and I'm just gonna go through my list exactly how I have it. Now, I also want to say a disclaimer. Even though I wish I knew these things before I joined, I'm still very glad that I did join. I just think knowing some of these things would have helped me mentally prepare and be in the right state and make sure that I was ready at the time that I did cross. So I have 9 total things that I wish I knew before I joined a sorority. And the first thing that I wish I knew before I joined a sorority is that some people in the sorority will make a bigger deal out of things than you think is necessary. And I say that because everybody has different mindsets about different things. Being the type of sorority that I am in, it is an international sorority. Of course, everybody isn't going to be on the same page about every single little detail. And even talking to Deltas that I've met from the East Coast, the West Coast, from the North, from the South, even in that little area of just people in the States, I've noticed how different some of us think about certain things. And it was just very interesting. So the first time that happened to me, it kind of made me shy away and be like, oh, Tyra, don't do that. No, like, what are you thinking? But in reality, I should have just been able to say, oh, okay, my bad. I'm taking in what you're saying, and I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'm going to use that to make my judgments about things in the future. So the second thing that I wish I knew before I joined is the fact that everyone that comes after me in my chapter is my responsibility. Y'all, when I crossed, I was freaking 19. I was like 19 when I crossed. I can't be having no responsibilities. I'm thinking I'm just a teenager. I'm still a teenager. So I wish that I knew that everybody that crossed after me was my responsibility, because I was my prophyte's responsibility, and my neos are my responsibility. Their neos are their responsibility, and so on and so forth. And that is because we have to make sure that we are showing them the ways to go, the things to do, what not to do, and how to keep our sorority in good standing, and how to keep us moving towards a brighter future. So for example, when I brought in my neos, people started saying, oh, get your neo. And I'm like, she a grown woman. But they meant it in a way of, hey, they're doing this, educate them, or tell them, you know, what to do, or whatever the case may be. Tell them, just, you know, have a conversation, make sure that we are uplifting each other and educating each other on things that we may not know. So that was a big responsibility put on my shoulders, especially since I was the leader of the Minerva Circle. So I really had these girls, like, these were really like my girls. That was a huge responsibility, and I didn't think of it in that way before I decided, hey, okay, I'll be the leader of the Minerva Circle. Cool. The third thing that I wish I knew before I joined was not everybody will be nice. Like I said, this is a huge sorority. You don't have to be all buddy-buddy with everybody. Everybody's friendships are not going to be the same. It's not going to be as tight-knit as you would think that it is. And I spoke on this in another video that I posted about sisterhood in Black sororities, because people think that we are being fake, and I look at it the same way as your family. Sometimes you and your family fall out. Sometimes you and your family don't talk for years, and then all of a sudden you get back together. Or sometimes you and your family don't get along, but for the sake of the rest of the family, whenever y'all are around each other, you guys act civil towards each other. And I think sometimes people mistake that for being fake. Don't get me wrong, some people can be being fake. I'm not saying that people don't be being fake, but I'm also saying that sometimes it is better to just put your differences to the side, especially when you're having an event or doing community service, because at the end of the day, we're all here to accomplish the same goal. The fourth thing I wish I knew was that my schedule would be jammed packed. If you have not seen my sorority tag video where I tell you all about my journey to Delta Land, make sure you go and check that out, because I let you know a little bit more about my process and how I became a Delta. My line was a reactivation line, and that means that our chapter was dormant before my line sisters sisters and I crossed into Delta land. So our schedules were jam-packed because we were literally rebuilding a chapter that had been dormant for years. I was also a theater major, so I had my schoolwork to do. I was also the president of the student theater organization. I was the special events coordinator for the student activities board. And I was also the treasurer for Delta, and I eventually moved up to be vice president. And all of that stuff takes time. And then when we were going to bring through a line, we had to go to all of these other trainings to make sure that we knew what we were supposed to do to bring in new members. So your schedule will be packed. There will always be events and community service, and you just have to learn how to block out your schedule. You have to have time for your homework, classes, extracurriculars, and you also have to have time for yourself. And that's something that in college I did not make time for myself. I wish I would have known that ahead of time so I could say, okay, Tyra, keep in mind, we will have a lot of stuff going on, but you need to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to keep yourself sane and to keep your grades up. The fifth thing I wish I knew is some people are just letter wearers. Or, you know what? I'm not just gonna say it. Some people are letter wearers and some people are just too busy with their actual schoolwork to be as involved as you would think they should be, especially if they just crossed. So, you know, some people are in pre-med, nurses, theater people have all of these plays and stuff, which I did. And some people just want to be a part of the sorority. They don't want to do much more than that. And that's just the nature of the beast. Some people are just letter wearers. Some people just want the esteem that comes with it. And for me, that kind of made me think, well, we doing all this work, like, come on, like, I understand you got your schoolwork, I understand this, but we got ours too. But at the end of the day, everybody is not on the same path as you. And I love the fact that I was very involved in my chapter, and I was very involved even after I graduated and when I moved to the East Coast. But I also had to take a step back and realize that everybody is just out here trying to do the best that they can. But I wish that I would have known that ahead of time so I wasn't so upset or mad whenever some of my line sisters couldn't be in the step show, or we needed something for an event and they couldn't get it and I had to go and get it. I would say there was a handful of my line sisters that were just always showing up for the chapter. And my line, we had 25 girls. So it's like, look, it's 25 of us. We need to all like divide all this work, but everybody has their own stuff going on. So I wish that I would have somebody would have just said that ahead of time so I wouldn't have been so upset when people couldn't do it. Number 6 is eyes are always on you, even after you cross, boo. Before, during, and after you cross. So one time, I'm not gonna go into complete details, but one time we went to a party that our advisors told us not to go to. Someone saw us at this party and our advisor showed up like, hey, how y'all doing? And we was like, dang. But I also went to a small school and word travels fast. Greek life is always tight-knit like this. No matter what school you go to, D9 Greek life is like this. Somebody gonna find out something. So she told us not to go to that party. We ended up going to the party because we in college, we're gonna be hard-headed. And she showed up like, hello. We didn't get in trouble or anything, or at least I don't remember getting in trouble, but she showed up like, I told y'all not to come to this party, or something like that. Something like that happened. Number 7 that I wish I knew was to enjoy everything, because you may miss it when it's over. And that's what I'm going through now. When I first crossed, I was like, that whole semester I was so stressed out because I was also in a play. I was in some of my harder theater classes at the time. I had to memorize a lot of stuff, and I was also the president of an organization that was putting on an award show for the entire theater department. So I had to do all of that and cross. So I was very stressed out, and I was like, oh my God, I'm just so ready for this to be over. I would just be crying and all this kind of stuff because it was just so overwhelming. And then the next year, I did the National Student Exchange Program and went to William Patterson University. And I didn't get to spend my first Founders Day with my line sisters, and I was very upset. So I just say that because even years after that, I was still away, and I've never spent the Founders Day with my line sisters. I've also tried to go back for homecoming sometimes, and sometimes it just don't work out, and I just get sad, and I just miss that closeness that we had for such a short period of time because I decided to do the National Student Exchange Program. And parts of me wishes I would have just enjoyed it a little more, even through the hardship and through all of the stress. I wish something in the back of my mind would have just said, Tyra, just enjoy it, because soon it's gonna be over and you're gonna miss it. The 8th thing that I wish that we would have known before we joined was dues. Everybody talks about the initial dues, and then they say, oh yeah, and then you'll have to pay dues after that, but ain't nobody thinking about that whenever we're crossing. I wish that we would have had like more talk about the dues, just so I could be more prepared for paying those dues whenever they was due. And also going to conventions and things like that. All of that kind of stuff had to be paid for. And I'm glad that I did it and all of those things, but I just wish that I could have been financially prepared and mentally prepared for those due payments, especially once I got to alumni chapter, because when I got to the Philly alumni chapter, I was like, oh, y'all paying dues. And the last one that I have for you guys is kind of funny, kind of fun, whatever the case may be. I wish I would have known that other orgs be playing games. And I say that because like there's all types of different rivalries depending on the school that you go to. It's different at every school. But at our school, sometimes other people would steal license plates. If you were like a Neo and you put on a license plate on your car, somebody would steal it and you would get it back. Sometimes. It didn't happen to me because luckily I had to go like get my license plate put on my car at the actual car service place because I was driving a Chrysler 300 at the time. Your girl was luxury and bougie. But they couldn't remove my license plate, but like my line sister's license plates got removed. All people from other orgs were like license plates got removed. So it's just this like rivalry that's going on. But I really loved how close-knit the Greeks at my school were when I was there, and they probably still are. I haven't been back in a while, but they probably still are, and I love that so much. But orgs be playing games, so I wish I could have just been like on the lookout, especially for my line sisters and stuff. They also do other things like my Neos, somebody got kidnapped or something like that. Not really kidnapped, but somebody picked up one of their line sisters and stuff, and they had to go and find their line sister. All type of stuff like that. Just fun stuff that college students do. I just wish I would have known, because whenever you don't know about that kind of stuff and it happens, like you get scared. You're like, hold up, somebody stole something from me. Hold up, somebody is missing. We need to do something about this. So other orgs be playing games, and we know y'all be playing games. And the last thing I just want to say, overall, if you are interested in joining a sorority, I wish overall this would be something that is talked about more at the interest meeting, and once you get into the sorority or fraternity and after you are already a member, is to stay humble and don't become a stereotype. Don't become that stereotypical Greek person that you see in movies or on Instagram, because there are people out there that do become those types of people. And I was talking to one of my friends, and we were just saying how those types of people probably had low self-esteem before they joined, and they thought that joining this organization would be just this self-esteem boost and instant popularity and all these types of things. So if you're interested, stay humble, stay true to yourself, because you more than your letters. You are there to make the letters. The letters don't make you. They don't make you who you are. They don't make you this mean, stuck-up person saying you can't sit with us. They don't make you that kind of person. You should elevate the letters. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I actually liked reminiscing over this stuff when I was in interest and joining the sorority, so this was really fun. If you guys have any questions about anything that I said, in the description box below, I have a form where you can send your questions. You could also put your questions down in the comments below, but if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can send them in the form that I have, and I will email you back from the form, or you can go to my Instagram and DM me there, and I can get back to you ASAP Rocky. So that's all that I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really hope that I provided a little bit of insight for you. And if you like this video, make sure that you give it a like. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you hit that big red subscribe button down below. And make sure your notifications are on so you can get all of the alerts anytime your girl posts any new content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so freaking much. And I'll see you in the next one.